Good morning, guys. It is Jonathan with One Big Impact. So I'm out here in, I will say, the beautiful Arizona desert. Although I'm not a desert person, it does have its charm. Obviously, the sun's getting ready to come up, so I think it might be blinding us soon. But I want to talk about the cardio really quick and the stuff that I've been asking you guys to do. I would really like you to focus, if you can, on getting outdoors during this next week. I know a lot of people are doing like indoor activities as far as like cardio on their treadmill, or it could be an elliptical, or maybe doing some fitness classes on DVD or something like that. But I'm really, really urging you and like almost begging you to get outdoors. And the reason is, I've noticed for myself a lot of the times when we are go, 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 and especially with this social distancing thing and everybody's locked up in their house and everything, it can be really, really, it can really affect us like mentally. And I feel for me, when I do find myself where I go outdoors, specifically like where there's trees or nature or anything like that, but even simply just to walk down the road can really help get your mind off of like all the things that are stress in life, of whether it's being stuck in your house or it's being around family constantly. And I know that's not always the thing for everybody, but let's be completely honest, the world is a little bit more stressed out right now, and it can be extremely difficult for many people. And I know for me, reconnecting with nature and getting back out there to the elements, because if you think about it, regardless what your beliefs are, at one time we probably started a little bit closer to nature, and getting back to that is really, really, really positive things. Once you get done with your walks or your adventure outside and stuff like that, whether it's hiking or swimming or whatever, you truly do feel a sense of refreshed. You feel like it's a new you, it's a new part of your journey. So, and you don't feel all the stresses of like societal pressure, whether it's having to go grocery shopping or meal prepping or working out, and you just get out there and enjoy yourself. You don't have to go fast, you don't have to go slow, you just kind of go at your own pace and cruise around. Some other things that I would like you guys to focus on throughout this week is breathing, like purpose, not necessarily meditation. I know meditation's a scary word for a lot of us, including me. It's difficult to quiet your mind and stuff like that. But I think laying down in a quiet room or a quiet space, it could be outside, it could be inside, and just breathing for 3-4 minutes, deep breaths in, deep breaths out, just forcing yourself to relax, because we are constantly trying to, make an extra buck or advance at our work or go a little bit harder on our exercise. But what are we really doing just to kind of decompress and chill out? I'm going to be trying to do this. I know I did it about a year ago, and I had great results with it, and it felt really, really good. So I'm going to be working on, 2-3 minutes relaxation, laying on my back, not necessarily meditation, just kind of breathing and trying to let things go and try to just take it easy. The other thing that I want you to focus on is some stretching. Now, I have some stretching videos. There is some basic stretches that you can do, and hopefully you can see me here. Let's see if I can put that down just a little bit. Let's see here. So some basic stretching, get your hands behind your back like this and pushing your chest out. And I can really feel that in my chest and in my lower back and everything. And you could do the back of your triceps and your shoulders. Another one I do for triceps, I get a lot more activation out of it. I feel it a lot more in my triceps like this. Obviously, you can reach your toes. I cannot reach my toes. Fun fact about Jonathan, he's not flexible at all in his hamstrings. So reach down. When you do these for about 30 seconds. Come out. If you have to hold your breath, then you're definitely going too hard on your stretch. So go ahead and back out of it. But you want to make sure you come out of the stretch, breathe in, and then try to go a little bit deeper into the stretch. You can do your quads. You can do your quads laying down, face down. They work really well. but you can also do them like this. Especially after exercise, you want to make sure you're stretching out. Push your hip out that way. You'll feel a nice deep stretch inside your quad. And you do the other side. A lot of these stretches work really well with balance, coordination. You're going to feel all kinds of things. Obviously, I can't get on the ground right now because I'm in the rocks, but there's lots of stretches that you can do. There's definitely, if you have any problem areas, take time and learn how to stretch those out. Stretch out the inner thighs. For guys especially, if you're in the challenge, focus on stretching. Women tend to put a lot more stretching routines inside everything, which I will be completely honest, I'm really bad at it. And stretch out your calves. If you have any plantar fasciitis or anything like that, when you're doing the calf stretch, do it up against the wall and put this foot over to the side and try to get it up against the wall. And then the same thing on the reverse. It really stretches out all of that. You can do, now I haven't done this in a while, I'll be completely honest, I don't know if my balance is here. You can stretch out your glutes. On this backside, I can feel that really good. That's a good one for running. I do that a lot when I'm running. Another one is basically for your glutes. A lot of people neglect the gluteus maximus, and it's the biggest muscle in the body, so you really got to make sure you're not neglecting it. So I'm pulling up and twisting to the side, pulling up, twisting to the side. As you can see, I don't have a huge range of motion with like anything. So you can just go through some basic stretches. But if you think about it, if you take about 5 or 10 minutes a day to do that, preferably if you're going to be doing exercises, make sure you're going to be doing your stretching afterwards. What I was just doing is static stretching. You can do a dynamic stretching before your exercise. Dynamic stretching is going to be basically you're mimicking the movement of the actual exercise. So if I'm going to be squatting, I would just be, mimicking the squat. Kind of, if I'm going to be running, I would be swinging my legs out, and then I would pendulum swing, just getting fluid inside my joints. And then I would open up my hips here, and then go on the other sides. The reason and the theory behind that is if you have dynamic stretching before, you're working really good on doing the aspect of opening up the joints, letting the body know, hey, we're mimicking this movement, we're getting ready to do this. And the reason you wouldn't do static stretching before is because, think about it like this. If you had a cold rubber band and you put a rubber band in the freezer, you pulled it out, and it's super cold, you pull on it, it's gonna snap. Okay, so you don't want to mess with anything as far as pulling apart any kind of muscle fibers or anything like that when they're nice and cold. Now, remember, afterwards, you do want to make sure you stretch them out because they're warm, they're limber. It's a warm rubber band, and it'll stretch really far, and you get a little bit better range of motion, which will prevent you from being injured and things like that. In addition to that, you do need to make sure before you do an exercise, that whether it's out here in the open, whether you're doing any type of running or workouts or anything like that, you do want to make sure you're spending about 5-10 minutes warming up. 5 minutes is usually perfectly fine. You could do things like arm circles. Also, if you're constipated, and I know that's got a little TMI, you could do side turns. That'll definitely help relieve the pressure inside your stomach. If you are experiencing any kind of bowel issues and stuff like that, jogging, running and stuff first thing in the morning will definitely fire up your system and help you get a little bit more regular. Always make sure you warm up for about 5 minutes. You could do a light walk, you could do a light jog. It's kind of dependent on how physically fit you are. If you're a runner and you're used to running 10-15 miles a day or something like that, 3 days a week, then a light jog a pretty heavy jog could do that, at 8 miles per hour or something like that. That might be what your body takes. If you're just getting active, it could be stretching like I just did. It could be a light walk, for 5 minutes, 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. But definitely make sure you're focusing on that. You guys, so a couple takeaways. Do your stretching. Make sure you get outdoors, because I feel like this is probably where we started out, or at least we were a little bit more connected in the past. And reconnecting with, the outdoors is really nice. And it makes you feel refreshed. And think about it. You don't have to answer texts. You don't have to answer emails. You don't have to call anybody. You don't have to be at appointments and stuff like that. So if you make time for yourself is going to be a lot happier. So the other takeaway is, obviously, make sure you're doing dynamic stretching before and then static stretching after, and just do your breathing and just chill. Understand that you have to give back to what you're putting out. You're putting out so much into your journey. It's really important that you're bringing enough back into yourself to be able to sustain a healthy lifestyle over time. You guys, have a beautiful day. Be stronger than your excuses. Remember to spread love, not hate. Drink your damn water. #TeamBoo. Good luck to everybody. Congratulations, Angela, and everybody else that was involved with this challenge this week. And keep up the good work. And I look forward to having everybody do amazing this week.